now adjourn, and I give the call to the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Speaker. Securing a free and open Indo-Pacific of strong, independent, sovereign states, not a region dominated by hegemonic power with vassals, depends on parliamentarians understanding our alliances, strategic capability and threats. From June to August, the Australian Defence Force and the United States military have been conducting Exercise Talisman Sabre, the largest bilateral combined training activity between our two nations. Training operations which range from amphibious landings, ground force manoeuvres, urban operations, air combat and maritime operations in Far North Queensland will work to enhance the interoperability of the ADF and US military and our joint combat readiness. This year's exercise involved around 17,000 military personnel from not only Australia and the United States, but also Canada, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand and the UK. We've got friends, India and Indonesia, as well as other observer nations. This broad level of participation reflects unanimity and commitment of like-minded liberal democratic nation to a rules-based Indo-Pacific free from coercion of emerging powers. Despite unprecedented change in our region, the Australia-US ANZUS military alliance is approaching its 70th anniversary this year, demonstrating the depth and durability of our friendship. Our alliance has confronted and overcome many challenges over the last 7 decades, and at Talisman Sabre 2021 we are strengthening and adapting to respond to the challenges of a new era. Like many members previously, Senator Ben Small, as well as the member for Fisher and current Deputy Speaker, the member for Oxley and myself participated in the ADF parliamentary program to observe Exercise Talisman Sabre and see firsthand the depth of our defence alliances and our combined military capability. We flew from Rockhampton in Army CH-47 Chinook helicopter to witness an impressive naval, land and air live firing at Shoalwater Bay. There we saw the utilisation of our remarkable hardware that enables the Navy, Air Force and Army to combine their firepower in defence of our sovereign interests. Later that day, we landed in Townsville in a C-17 Globemaster aircraft for 4 days of sites visits across the exercise's strategic operations. We cut our stride, and I know you did, particularly Deputy Speaker, in Army and Air Force operations, and learned about the United States' Space Force capacity and its role in the new frontier of warfare. Thank you particularly to those who support this program at a parliamentary level and, of course, in the ADF to enlarge our understanding of the critical work that you do. Thank you to veteran Jason Harrison for showing us around the Air Force Base and the 2 RAR Historical Museum, which reminded us of the sacrifices made by Australian and US troops together on battlefields from Korea to Iraq, defending freedom and democracy for successive generations. Thank you to those who have had success in organising and leading this iteration of Talisman Sabre. Lieutenant General Brian Ashley Power AO, Brigadier Khalil Fegan, Major General Jake Elwood, Lieutenant General Greg Bilton AO, Major Mark Herbert and Private Zabiri Salim. Thank you to Lieutenant Colonel Andy Martin, Executive Officer of the Australian Defence Parliamentary Program, for your championing of our understanding and interaction between the ADF and parliamentarians. It was an invaluable experience. It was invaluable because it gave us an insight into the important work that you do, but more critically, the sacrifices that so many Australians make in defence of our nation in the past and in the present, and critically, what we can do in this place to make sure that you have the equipment, the skills, the capability, not just to defend our nation, but of course to defend yourselves. And of course, whatever is to happen into the future, we back the ADF in its critical function on this side of the chamber, and I'm sure there are many members on the other side of the chamber as well. We want a strong and confident Australia to take its role not just in the Indo-Pacific but across the world, because we can be a beacon light of hope for the rest of the world as part of a concert of nations, particularly liberal democracies, that secure peace, stability and prosperity for the whole of the world. So thank you for the work that you do. We thank and salute all of Australia's servicemen and women for your sacrifice for the security and safety of our nation, and know that there are many members in this chamber and, of course, the other one who have your back are prepared to support you every step of the way and appreciate every single thing that you do in the interests of our nation.
The question is